since the heat was so intense, rounds that were on the ground, they would just blow up. My name is Taylor Poulin. I'm 24 years old. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I joined when I was 19, and like many Marines, I had a lot of jobs. I was a combat correspondent, which is pretty much a journalist. I was stationed out in San Diego, California for 4 years with a 7-month deployment to Al-Assad, Iraq.
He did well in boot camp, which gave him his opportunity to take the job that he wanted, you know, which is journalism. Then he went off to San Diego to be stationed out there, and wasn't going to be deployed to Iraq as far as we knew. And then, surprise, surprise,
everybody got their
turn to go, right?
My job was pretty much to go out throughout the base and find news stories, feature stories, write about them, build morale around the base, shoot video news segments, and try to give it to the local media so they can run our B-roll. Most of the time, I mean, you work every day out there. There's no weekends. You know, you count down pretty much when you get out there. Like 210 days. Today's 209. You know, it's no Monday through Sunday or whatever. You know, and I believe in self-preservation, you know. Wake up, work out, eat the right meals, you know what I mean? So you need to be prepared for everything. So, you know, there was a lot of time that me and my guys would, you know, have a sound mind, sound body, you know, that kind of feel. As the morning rolled in, we would figure out what we were going to do for that day. Everyone stayed busy because you literally would go crazy if you just sat around all day. One of my guys was latched up with the unit that was working with the Iraqi police and training them, you know, to become stronger. And we would just make sure that everything was prepared for those guys. They were meeting up with the right people, and they had everything that they needed. And we just make sure that they got out, got hooked up with people, and then came home safely. Basically, in my 3 years before I deployed, it was print journalism, straightforward. And then right when we got put out in the desert in Al-Assad, Iraq, you know, they made the integration to video. So it was kind of new, and you know, it was intimidating because we had no idea how to use the video camera, especially the HD cameras or anything like that. And we would go out and film, you know, the best to mic up another soldier or a Marine or something like that. Go out on a humanitarian aid mission, film what you needed, and then come back. And what we would do is actually put the news segment together like you see on the news. You know, stuff that we took pride in was, you know, it was stuff that you didn't see in the mainstream media. You know, it's just those untold stories that we like to tell. My own story, I mean, when I was over there for 7 months, I got married about 8 months before I went. And 2 months into my deployment, my wife decided to get another boyfriend. So I had my own dealings coming back home. So when I came home, I was coming back home to a broken house. I was pretty angry when I found out about what was going on with, you know, the family that I built back in San Diego. But my job, while I was out there, I was the lead combat correspondent. I had 3 writers under me, so they looked up to me to, you know, hold themselves together. So what I had to do was just keep my composure. You go through a class right before you come back, you know, like a debriefing almost, where they talk about, you know, there's people you can talk to if you're having recurring dreams or nightmares or anything like that. But with me, I really didn't. By the time that I came home, with my situation, I pretty much felt numb. You know, I didn't have a control of the situation back home. All I could do was just control my emotions to make sure my guys were coming home to a safe house. That pretty much took the feeling away from what I was doing. And the first thing, an interesting fact, that the first thing that I did when I came home was actually clean the refrigerator.
always had self-confidence, but it's channeled somehow, and he's got goals, and he's got direction, and, you know, ideas about how he wants to do things and what he wants to see and accomplish, and it's great to listen to. So
came back very structured, very structured.
Now that I'm back, you know, I actually moved back home and with my family. You know, that's one thing for me that's huge is I was away from my mother and father and my brothers for 4 years, you know, and I was just glad that my brothers could accept me as their brother again, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I didn't see him that much.
When he came back, it was great, you know, it's like he was different, completely different. He got the whole accent going on that I guess every Marine gets when they go to North Carolina, South Carolina, and then they go over to the West Coast, and they got that West Coast accent, for sure, dude. But no, it's great. I love seeing my brother. I like seeing him doing good too. He's really going down the right path.
Now I go to school. I mean, after my 4 years in the military, I was awarded the GI Bill. The reason why I wanted to get out is I just couldn't deal with the political game of public affairs anymore. So I decided to get out and earn my degree in journalism and maybe go back and do it the way I want to do it. So that's what I do now. You know, the stuff that I like to do is just stuff for me, pretty much. I felt that I gave so much and I sacrificed so much over those 4 years that things that I do now were for me. So I'm just reaping the benefits now. Kind of a nerd, to tell you the truth. You know, it was like the lasting effect from out in Iraq. You know, all I did was read out there, read and run. You know, just train for marathons out there, and now that I'm home, that's all I really do is just run and go to school and read and just read as much as I can. That's basically it.
You know, I'm sure I'd like to move away from the family, but you know, we like him here. You know, we owe him a few years, you know, that he was gone. So, but yeah, it was a big change for us. You know, a new soul back in the house.
You know, he's there my whole first half of the life, and like, I guess you don't really know how much you miss someone until they actually leave. So, didn't really think too much about it when I heard about it. You know, I just knew he was going to start a career.
You came along and gee, you probably looked and you'd get into all kinds of mischief. And what would I do but scold him? I mean, what could you do to a 2-year-old? And the older brother would go, that's all that happens to him? Wow, and then he'd join in. Now it's 2 against 1. So it's been fun to watch over the years, I guess.